Hey y'all, welcome to Craftable Things. I'm Patrice, and today we are going to be getting a few last minute projects done for Teachers Appreciation Week. Okay y'all, so if you're anything like me, Teachers Appreciation Week and or the end of the school year might have crept up on you very quickly. And so today we are going to be using our Cricut machines to help us get together a few quick and economical projects that we can give away to teachers. Now, being a school teacher, I know that whenever we receive any types of gifts from our students and their families, we appreciate them no matter how big or small. So today we will be completing about 5 projects that will sure to melt the hearts of your favorite teachers. Let's get started. So now we're inside of Cricut Design Space and we are going to get ready to cut our designs out. And I already have the designs that I'm going to be using today. We are using these designs from Creative Fabrica. And so as we talk a little bit more about all of the different projects that we're going to be doing, you'll see how I will be using these designs. So if you want to look within the Cricut design software app for designs, you can head over to the left panel and select images, and you will be able to search for different images that you may want. This is a cute one right here that says Teacher Life. Thanks a bunch. You can add those to cards. You can also search within the app for images, and so we'll type in teachers and see what pulls up, and it looks like there are over 290,000 images that we can use for various projects. And here we have some of the different files that we can use, and these all look wonderful. If there's something specific that you're looking for, I know I will be featuring a pencil SVG that I got from Creative Fabrica, but you can find that all here within the app as well. Most of these items do require you to have the Cricut Access membership, but they do have some that are free. All right, so let's head back over to the canvas. So the projects that we'll be completing today are very beginner friendly, and we are just going to look at what we're going to be using for those. So we are going to make a teacher tile, and we are going to use vinyl. However, if you want to use sticker paper, you totally can, and I will show you how to do that. We are going to be creating a sticker for a keychain that we'll be making. And also we are going to be making a coaster for our teacher as well. In addition, we will be making a tote bag using Cricut Infusible ink. And you can pretty much use Cricut Infusible ink with any SVG that you have. You just need to match up the colors to what it is that you want to use it for. Also, we are going to be making some stickers for our teacher, and I think that these stickers are perfect. They're affirmation stickers, and teaching isn't always easy. I can speak from experience, and sometimes we do need to affirm ourselves, and so I think this sticker sheet will make a great gift for any teacher. So let's begin with our projects. We are going to head over to our machine. So we're going to be starting with this subway tile, and we are going to turn this subway tile into a teacher tile the same way we would do a mom or dad tile. And I got this subway tile from Lowe's for about $3, which is super cheap. As you all see, this is glass and it looks amazing when everything is put together. We're going to be using this vinyl from Heat Transfer Warehouse to turn this subway tile into artwork for our teacher. All right, so let's go ahead and get all of this vinyl cut. I will be using my Cricut Maker 3 to get this vinyl cut and ready for us to layer. So we are going to be using two different ways of applying or making a teacher tile, and we needed to do a print then cut of that same image that we're going to be layering with vinyl, because we are going to be placing a sticker on top of a tile. Next, we're going to get ready to complete our teacher tiles, and we have our printed version and we also have our vinyl version. I am using the same image so that you can kind of see the difference and which one you think is easier. So we are going to be using sticker paper, and this is printable vinyl, and we will also be using regular vinyl to apply. We're going to piece it together, layer it, and we're going to compare. So now I'm layering the vinyl, and I am using parchment paper to help me line it up and place it, and I find this to be very, very helpful. However, I would suggest using the white parchment paper and not the brown parchment paper, because the white is way more see-through and you can line your vinyl up a little more accurately with the white parchment paper. So here I'm just peeling it off of the paper and applying the lead or the top part of the sticker, but you can totally use transfer tape and parchment paper to make sure that it lines up. I just went for it, y'all, and I actually love how the sticker paper turned out. I love them both, and I don't love either one more than the other, but they look cute, very cute. So now it's time to print our stickers, and of course we're doing print then cut, and I'm using my Epson EcoTank 15,000 today, and that printer has pigment ink inside of it, and everything looks good. Those stickers are going to be so beautiful, y'all. I love it. And so now we're just going to get ready to place this inside of our machine, and we are going to cut. I am cutting this using the holographic vinyl setting, which I should have used the cardstock setting because I had to cut this about 3 times. So I had to keep placing it into the machine to keep cutting. Okay, y'all, before we look at the stickers, this is the holographic paper that I purchased from Amazon. A link will be listed below. This is printable holographic paper or holographic sticker vinyl paper. All right, so here we are, and I think these are wonderful to give to any teacher because sometimes we do need to be reminded of our good qualities and that we are a good teacher and that we have things to offer to our students, and we don't have to be perfect to be a good teacher. So this will make an awesome gift. Teachers can put this inside of their planners. They can put this on their laptops, their desk, their boards, anywhere to get this reminder. And so you do want to make sure that you know the settings. So I cut this with the holographic vinyl setting, and it is a kiss cut, which it works good, but I did use about 3 passes. So you want to make sure you find your good settings for this particular material, but this works really well with any other material. All right, so next we're going to work with this acrylic disc, and it is for a keychain. And you always want to make sure that you remove the plastic protective sheet that's on top. I'm just going to put these on both sides. And we are going to be doing 2 different types of sides. One side we are going to be placing an adhesive vinyl sticker or decal on it, and the other side we will be placing a sticker. Here's the sticker, and I am just going to take my transfer tape and place it on top. Right here. And that will bring it up. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you spray your stickers with a clear acrylic sealer, and that will make sure that your stickers last longer. This one I'm not really worried about because we are going to be placing a little bit of UV resin on top of it just to kind of seal it. And so this is going to take up the entire circle. And here I'm just making sure everything looks good. And you do want that center on top. We're going to have to drill that center. But so far it looks pretty good. Maybe some glitter, and then we'll place a vinyl decal. So for this side, we're going to start by using a little bit of UV resin, and today we'll be using the Best Unis UV resin, and I'm just going to apply a very thin coat to this side and then sprinkle some glitter on top. I don't really want to cover the entire side with glitter. I just want to kind of have it just, you know, sprinkled around randomly. Alright, so now in order to cure this, you need to have a UV light or UV flashlight. This is similar to a nail light, or it really is a nail light. But this will cure that UV resin and harden it. Alright, so that is important. You can also sit it out in the sunlight, but that does take a little more time. So now I'm going to apply another coat of the UV resin on top of that layer just to kind of seal that glitter in. Now I'm done applying the second layer, and I am just using this small heat gun to pop any bubbles that might be there. And y'all, there were tons of bubbles, so I'm popping those bubbles. And once I'm done with that, I am going to place it again underneath the UV light, because you have to continue to seal or cure that UV resin when you are moving from layer to layer. Alright, so everything looks good. It is hardened, and I am just going to give it a little bit of sanding because I could feel some of that glitter still, and so I'm going to sand it. And once I'm done sanding, I'm going to take my alcohol and clean off that debris from sanding it. And then once I'm done cleaning it off and letting it dry, I am going to place my vinyl decal on top. Now that the decal is on top, we need to seal it, and of course we need to get that best UV resin and apply it to the top of that vinyl decal. When using resin, any type of resin, epoxy or UV resin, you want to always make sure that you have on gloves and proper masking because you don't want to inhale the fumes. All right, so right now I am just going over the decal and making sure that it is nicely coated and smooth. I really want to make sure that it is smooth and not lumpy. And to finish this side, we are going to pop those bubbles. Of course, remember to always pop the bubbles when you are using epoxy or UV resin. And I am just making sure that this is nice and smooth. I did see some areas that I wanted to just kind of make sure were pressed down and, you know, as they should be. This is a gift, so I want it to look professional, and I want it to be made with love. All right, so everything is all set, and now it is time for us to go ahead and seal that other side. And we are just going to spread out that UV resin on the other side and pretty much do the same process that we did on the previous side, except we won't have that many steps. All right, so after I'm done spreading the UV resin out, I am just going to get my heat gun and do what? Pop those bubbles, because you don't want to see bubbles in your or on your keychain, and y'all, those bubbles will make craters once they are underneath this UV light. All right, so everything came out great. Of course, I UV resined our hole for the keychain ring, and so I'm just going to use my hand drill to drill that hole open. All right, and so it's right there. I can see where it is, and I'm just going to drill it open that way because we want to have a keychain, right? All right, so everything looks good, and y'all, we are all done, and I love how this came out. I think it is super, super cute. So this project might be my favorite project. We are going to be doing a little bit of wood burning, and I made this stencil, and we are going to use this stencil to place on top of this basswood coaster that we got from Michael's, and it was only about maybe $2, $1.99. So y'all, these projects are super fun, economical, and might I add, a little bit classy. So I am going to apply this wood burning gel, and that is only some ammonium chloride mixed with a little bit of water thickening solution or liquid thickening solution. And if you want to see how I did that, I will have a link listed below in the description for that. All right, and I am just storing, this is leftover gel that I had, and it's still usable weeks later. So I'm just going to brush this over the stencil, just coating it nicely and making sure that the coating is smooth. You don't want to clump it onto your stencil. You just want to make sure that you're brushing it on very smoothly. And once I'm done brushing only the stenciled area, once I'm done brushing that, I am going to let it sit for about 15 minutes just so that that solution could kind of sink into the wood as much as possible. All right, so I let it sit for 15 minutes, and now I am ready to remove the stencil. And you want to make sure you remove all of the adhesive off of the basswood or whatever type of wood that you're using. You can use this on different woods. It does not have to be this exact wood piece from Michael's, but y'all, it looks beautiful when it's done. I can't wait for you guys to see the finished product. All of the vinyl has been removed, and now we need to get our heat gun and burn this wood. And so I am using the highest heat setting, but I'm moving around the wood and not concentrating on one area because I don't want one part to get too dark too quick. So I'm just moving around the wood and making sure that I don't stay in one location too long, and I'm loving how this is turning out. It even looks like it has like a slight glow over on the right side, and I love this look. It looks amazing. So this is the final product, and I think this is going to go well with the next project that we will be making. I absolutely love it, and I think the teacher is going to love this as well. So pretty. So next, this is going to be super quick, and these mugs came from Michaels. These are Michael brand mug. They are only $2.99, and you can use these for sublimation. But today, y'all, we are using these with infusible ink. So you do not have to do sublimation. If you have Cricut Infusible ink, these work perfectly well with them. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and tape on the infusible ink to the mug. I'm also going to place a piece of butcher paper around the image just to avoid any bleeding or anything like that onto my Cricut Mug Press. All right, so now we're ready to place this inside, and y'all, this might have been one of the quickest of the projects, and we are all set. And so let's see what this is going to look like. And I have no worries. We're using infusible ink, and it's just like sublimation, but I did overdo the process because our butcher paper is burnt, but that always happens. I don't know why, but it always happens. So let's see how this turned out. And drum roll. Y'all, this looks amazing. It looks great. I was kind of worried about those intricate cuts in the flowers, but y'all, this looks beautiful. So most teachers, including myself, can be a bit of a bag lady. So what we're going to be doing now is we are going to be pressing this tote, and I am stuffing the tote with a little bit of butcher paper because we will be using infusible ink with this bag from Michaels. This bag is only $1.99, and you can either do sublimation with this bag or you can use Cricut Infusible ink. And so I am going to go ahead and give this a nice lint roll just to remove any lint or anything else that might be on to our bag. And I am going to pre-press the bag in the area that we will be applying the infusible ink, just to get out any moisture and to try to get it as smooth as possible. Now I'm ready to place the infusible ink on the top of the bag, and to secure it on the bag I am going to be using some heat tape, and that will help prevent it from shifting or ghosting. And now we are going to be pressing this at 400 degrees for about 60 seconds with our Cricut heat press. Alright, so you want to just apply a little bit of pressure manually, because this is not like a regular heat press where the pressure is applied by the machine. You are applying the pressure yourself. And so I am going to press that, and then I am going to have to give it a second press, which I don't like, but I'm giving it a second press because I kind of made the image really big, and I did not notice until too late that the bottom of the image was not being pressed. So that's what we're doing. Alright, so we're all set, and let's see how this turned out. And I can see that ink from underneath the infusible ink paper, and y'all, it looks good. I have one area that I did not apply the heat really well to, and that's at the top. But other than that, I think it looks amazing, and I think my butcher paper kind of crinkled up in the inside and caused me to get a little bit of wrinkles. But everything looks great. I'm happy with the outcome of all of these projects. Y'all, let me know what y'all think about those tiles. Which one do you like best? Leave it in the comments. I'm very curious to see what you like. But this is everything that we made today, and these were super quick and easy projects. Okay, y'all, so we are all done with making some quick, economical, and pretty nice teacher gifts for this year because I am behind. And y'all, guess what? This stuff really will cost under $5 for each of these items. So that makes it a winner. So we had these teacher tiles, and I want y'all to tell me, you guys saw these up close and personal. Is there a big difference between the one we did with the sticker paper or the one that we did with the vinyl? Because they both look really, really good to me. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you like the sticker paper better or if you like the vinyl paper better. Of course, this takes less time. This is the sticker paper, and this takes less time. This was about 6 layers of vinyl. So let me know what y'all think. And I know I said earlier about the different sizes, and this is one that I made last year, and I made it for me, and it's a lot smaller than the ones that we made today, but you can get, you know, you can get real creative with these tiles. All right, so next we had our mug from Michaels, and this is only $2.99, and y'all, you cannot beat this. And we also have the matching coaster, and this is about $1.99. It's Art Minds basswood coaster. Of course, we had these stickers, and like I told y'all before, I had to cut several times with the holographic vinyl setting. So just find the setting that you like, but we have a nice kiss cut on these stickers, and I absolutely love them. Then we created this keychain with a little bit of UV resin, and it is a reversible one. We have the initial on the back. So you can make these in several different ways, but I like the sticker on the top and just coating it with the epoxy just to seal it and to make it all shiny again. And lastly, y'all, we had that bag, and the bag looks really, really good. I made it too large, the design too large, but for the most part, I love how it came out. Just this little part up here at the top did not go well, but these are bags from Michaels, and $1.99 for this bag, and you can use Cricut Infusible ink or you can do sublimation on it. So it's up to you, but Cricut Infusible ink, if you don't have a sublimation printer, you can totally get this done with this bag. So that's it. It looks like I'm about ready for Teachers Appreciation Week and also the end of the school year. Make sure that you get your projects together for your kids and their teachers. Of course, I am team teachers. So make sure you get everything you need. If you want to create any of these projects, links will be listed below to these items. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button if this is your first time here. In addition, please head over to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok and join Craftable Things there as well. I would love to have you on all platforms. But that's going to be it for today, y'all. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time.